VHS.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, because then you guys all watched VHS too, and we weren't caught up.
I didn't watch VHS too.
No.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
I'm not cool.
Are we recording?
Yes, everything's rolling.
Hello, America, and welcome to the show. We're going to do some music here.
Yeah.
Are we actually recording?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, did you guys see the
That's
extended
on.
preview to Gotham?
Yeah, that looks awesome.
What?
Well, it could be good, but I like who's playing Gordon. I don't
What?
like how they have every single
It's a
villain
new
as a
TV
child.
show for the fall. Fox is doing Gotham.
Yeah, that's right. I heard
Prequel
about
to
that.
Batman. Batman's 12 in it.
Didn't we briefly see that just today?
Yeah.
I need to look more. I need to look up.
The guy from the
More
OC's
on
in it though. Ryan
Ryan?
from the OC.
Yeah, and
OC?
Donald
OC, yeah.
Kim, Donald
My ex,
Yes.
my ex used to watch it, and I
Oh,
watched
Terry.
it.
Love the OC.
Okay.
I love
okay.
it. They had such a great soundtrack.
Yes, the
They
OC
had-
was good.
They always
for
had good bands.
us
What?
kitty hipsters. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not.
that,
a
I remember they had
hipster.
Death Cab on there. I was
Death
like,
Cab's all. Yeah, Rooney was on
yeah.
there.
Death Cab is
That
hipster?
Placebo. That's when I first
I
heard
guess
saw
I'm
Placebo.
hipster?
They did that song before Daybreakers or whatever did that song, Running Up That Hill.
I've seen Daybreakers with Ethan Hawke.
That was a
They
Pile
stole
of
that
shit.
from.
Wasn't great.
No, it was horrible.
Did we? Did I?
Yeah.
And
It's-
don't forget Willem
everyone's
Dafoe.
a vampire.
We're the folks with
Except
the
Willem
crossbows.
Dafoe.
except for Willem Dafoe. Yeah.
Oh, I wiped that from my memory.
Spoilers: he turns back into a human. Oh.
Now,
Ethan
you
Hawke
want a
does.
good
Yeah.
vampire movie? Do the 28,
Days later.
no, 30 days.
30 Days of Night.
30 Days of Night with Josh Hartnett.
Almost shit my pants on
That
that
was
movie.
a good one.
Oh, that was a good movie.
That was- good.
I guess I should have maybe posted just because it's interesting. On a recent interview, he was offered like actually quite a few superhero roles.
Josh Hartnett was.
Yeah, and he's actually really just kind of picky, I guess.
Huh.
Yeah.
He doesn't like money.
No, I guess not. Well, he's not in that many
Is
movies
he
if
an
you think about
artiste?
it.
That's okay though.
No.
I think if someone's like, "Man, we really want you to play, Aqualad," and you're like, "No, thanks."
I'm good.
It's
Well,
fine.
they're big names too. I can't remember them. They're big
They're
names,
so
though.
big, I can't remember them.
Word on the street is that Jason Momoa, you know Jason Momoa,
Mm-hmm.
might play. This is like totally.
That was the
rumor,
Conan guy,
rumor.
right?
Conan, yeah, he
Yeah.
played Conan, and he played
2011.
Khal Drago.
Is he gonna be the Martian?
He's gonna be Aquaman. Possible chance of him being Aquaman.
So they're gonna. No, they. I was gonna say they're gonna dye his hair blonde and make
No,
him
there's no
lame.
way they just make him.
Yeah, like what's his face? They
I
dyed
must get
his
the
hair.
dolphins.
Are we ready?
Yep.
Have we been on the show the whole time? Is the internet watching us all this time?
Yep, they're watching us now,
You're a liar.
right now.
And if
I don't believe you. Start smoking.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay, everybody ready?
Sure.
Yep.
All right.
Four souls will enter, none will emerge.
Oh, hi, Mark.
If you have the balls, tune in for our weekly discussion for movies, and more movies. Movie news and things they watch on their Netflix queue. It's Hanging from the Balcony with Lewis the Professor,
I have literally the smallest muscles a man can have.
Miss Kimberly the Professor,
Shut the fuck up, all of you.
Nathan Betts,
You like that?
and Thomas the Doubter.
How long have you been doing yoga?
You're listening to Hangin' from the Balcony.
And record. And welcome to Hanging from the Balcony, where we do talk about movies, and more movies. I am your host, Lewis the Professor. To my right is at Nathan L. Betts, our producer. Hello,
Hi.
Nathan.
I just noticed like 18 errors I made on the new intro, but I will fix those for next time.
It's all good.
I didn't notice.
On my
Yeah.
other side here, we have the beautiful, what, Kimberly? The
Yeah.
Professor.
Miss Professor.
Miss Professor. Yeah, she's my lady.
Mm-hmm.
Woo. And then over there's Thomas the Doubter. Hi, Thomas. How are you?
Just doubting, you know.
Yeah, just been
She's over here
down.
doubting and
All
stuff.
right, super. Glad to have you all here. Let's talk about movies. What have we been watching? Tommy, you seen anything lately?
Boy, I know I've been really bad at this. No, I did manage to watch a movie this week. A movie.
Super.
I'm working 14-hour days. I'm sorry, folks.
Yeah.
I get a few hours to unwind and go to bed. No, and it was homework actually at one point, and I missed it. I was gone that week. And
You were seeing a concert or something, I
Actually,
think.
yeah, a concert in Vegas. So it was worth it.
No big deal. No big deal.
It was Iceman or the Iceman.
The Iceman.
The
The
Iceman.
Iceman.
Obviously based off of the true Hitman.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was our
Ma-
homework a few months back.
Several.
Michael Shannon, right?
Shit. All the time.
What'd you think?
Like at first I was really drawn in. Michael Shannon is incredible in it.
He's intense.
And as I watched it, I felt like the whole movie was holding Michael Shannon back. Like
okay.
the characters, his family, even the story was a little stale how they told it. It's just kind of one scene after another telling you what's going on. I wasn't exactly blown away. It wasn't creative. They didn't do anything to wow me. The only thing that wowed me was, like you said, how intense Michael Shannon was. It's like just
I think we all kind of came to that conclusion that
I think we did too.
He's great, but overall the movie's not quite what it needed to be.
I think the only other movie I've seen him in is Superman, which he was good in, but everyone knows I didn't really like Superman.
One of your homeworks you recommended for us had him in it for a while. Machine Gun Preacher had him in it for a while.
Oh,
yeah.
that was the one I missed.
Kim, what was
That's right. That's right. You missed that and that. Yeah, because we had back-to-back Michael Shannon.
That's
Michael
right.
Shannon.
That's right.
Kim, what was the Michael Shannon something with shelter? Not Gimme Shelter.
The shelter. Building a shelter.
Shelter.
Because I'm crazy.
Something Shelter with Michael Shannon.
Something shelter.
He's very good in that too.
Yeah,
I think Michael
yeah.
Shannon's like just a good actor.
Definitely.
He's
Yeah, because
very
it had
intense.
the same woman from the Bin Laden movie.
Oh, Chastain.
Zero Dark 30. Yeah,
Jessica
Jessica Chastain
Chastain.
was in it.
Is he? Where's he from? He's a kind of a strange-looking guy.
He is an odd-looking guy.
I don't know if he's British or from
no,
around
I'm
here.
pretty
Or...
sure he's American.
Okay.
Lexington, Kentucky.
There you go.
He's a
Ah.
Southern boy. That's
Wow.
why.
Yeah. No, he's like if you're
Take
Take
shelter.
shelter. Yeah.
if you like Michael Shannon, which I'm
And
becoming
he
a
was
bigger
in Mud.
fan.
He was in
Yeah, he
Mud.
was in Mud for a little while.
Oh yeah, he was, and he plays kind
diver
of a
dude,
goofy
yeah.
uncle too. Oh my gosh, he's
I
everywhere.
He was in Revolutionary Road with
Yeah.
Leo
in a lot of
DiCaprio,
stuff.
and I thought he was the best part of Revolutionary Road. Frankly, his character,
Yeah?
I thought he did a great job.
I saw that go by on the Netflix the other day. I was like, no.
They,
I can't really recommend it, but
They said it
he's
was
good.
like the follow-up to the two characters if they'd made it, and then they lived in the 60s.
Oh,
with Kate Winslet
if
and
the
Leo.
Titanic
Yeah.
characters had survived to the 60s, this is how
what
their
would
marriage
happen.
falls
This is how
apart.
their marriage disintegrates. Yeah.
I did want to point out the fact that the Iceman's famous. Obviously, he killed a lot of people, but because he didn't really have very much emotion. Now you're playing a character that doesn't have any emotion. How do you pull that off? And yet he still manages to do that. This
Yeah.
guy who doesn't have any emotion except maybe when it comes to his family, and even when he's around his family, he's a quiet, spoken, shy guy. But to be able to exhume that personality or anger or whatever he was feeling at that time. I mean, even like when he's showing affection toward his family, you feel it's awkward, but it's believable.
Yeah.
And
It's very distant and cold.
Not necessarily. He's like he's opening himself. You get to see him write a poem,
Right, but what I mean by that is like I can't envision him helping his child learn how to ride a bike and like hold it by the back and be like lovey-dovey and all that.
It's true,
Yeah, it's
but
very-
you get to learn about his upbringing, and maybe why he's so kind of shut off from the world. Besides when it comes to his family, but just to be able to just work with that and still be the best character in the whole movie.
No,
That's
Michael Shannon's a good actor. We need to
You can't-
continue to sing his praise.
I can't really picture anyone.
Yeah.
Very many people pulling that off, but yeah.
He probably won't be in Man of Steel 2.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know if you can recover from a broken neck.
He said, I refuse to be in the sequel.
Did he really?
Did you? No. Did you see any films this week?
I did. I watched one that's going to be just a quick mention because it's been out for so long already. But Silver Linings Playbook was on the not Watch Instant, but it's available on the actual DVD queue.
Mm-hmm.
And I decided to get that, and we actually watched. That was one of the first things we watched after watching. After we got done with Melancholia. So we watched pretty much, when we went to sit down and watch movies, we pretty much watched 2 movies almost back to back that have to deal with depression. And this one has quite a bit to do with depression, a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
I found it to be pretty interesting. I really liked seeing Robert De Niro play a character that's almost different than like doing a caricature of himself at this point, basically.
Right.
But he was right on the cusp of not being De Niro, like classic De Niro.
Yeah, I thought he did a good job, which is rare for De
yeah,
Niro.
like just be that
Feels
huge sports nut. Like, I mean, you don't really see that out of.
I love how he has
his little quirks and whatnot.
Yeah,
everybody that comes over, he just like instantly brings up like, oh well, now you're my lucky. Oh well, now you're my lucky. Oh well, now you're my. Just whatever he thinks is gonna work in the moment, he's doing it, and just bringing everybody in. And the mom, I don't know how she kept all of that together. She must have had a really rough life. Is all I can say. But I got really irritated with him at a certain point, almost the same way that we get
with who?
With Bradley Cooper.
Oh, okay.
Almost the same way that we get with, or sorry, not Bradley Cooper, with what's her face?
Jennifer Lawrence.
I got frustrated with Jennifer Lawrence. I got Bradley Cooper is a little bit hard to deal with because you're trying to keep up with his weird little things in his head that he's trying to keep straight. But then you meet Jennifer Lawrence's character, and she just drove me fucking nuts. I could hardly stand her. Her character was really annoying to me, much like Kirsten Dunst's character in Melancholia was annoying to me because I couldn't wrap my head around that because my brain doesn't work like that. So there kind of some parallels like that. And had I known, because it's kind of billed as a comedy, is it not?
Yeah.
So had I known what the subject matter was going to be about on this, because I literally had no idea what this movie was about at all, I probably would have put that on pause for a couple of weeks just to kind of break it up so I wouldn't have compared it to Melancholia so much.
It's an interesting thing to compare it to because I wouldn't immediately think of those two together.
Yeah. Only
Or
because
side by
of the
side.
subject matter and the vicinity in which both were watched. So, but I probably would have been annoyed with that a little bit less had I not seen Melancholia beforehand. I would have found the smaller, intricate moments that were supposed to be funny a little bit funnier or whatever. But
I'm one of those people too, though, when a character is just
grating a little bit.
Yeah, well, like you said, you can't wrap your head, or you can't relate, or you want to be like one of the people standing next to him, and you just want to shake him and be like, "Stop doing what you're doing."
Whatever it is, stop it. Yeah.
But and to be honest, I guess, is that a sign of good filmmaking if you really have those kind of...
Well, if you're trying to create a frustrating character, like I think Jennifer Lawrence's character is supposed to,
I think she did exactly what she was supposed to do.
I thought she did it.
Is it harder?
She won an Oscar.
Yes, she did a really good job at it.
Is it hard to make a frustrating character, as far as writing a frustrating character?
I think it probably is to make a smart, frustrating character.
Yeah.
There's stupid, frustrating characters who are
obviously.
frustrating because
Right.
they just do stupid things.
I wasn't frustrated with her because I'm like, oh, come on, for the love of
like,
fuck.
who would do that?
Yeah, no, I was more frustrated with like, what is going on in your brain? Why don't you just stop doing that? Like, I believed her 100%. So, I was frustrated with their portrayal of that type of person. So,
I wonder
she did a really good job at it, though.
I wonder if the writers have to do a lot of research as far as to be able to...
It's based on a book, and I wouldn't be at all surprised if the writer who created these characters has dealt with these kind of emotional problems.
I see.
Yeah, it seemed like it was something that was more from experience, not just something fabricated out of whole
Right.
cloth.
So what you said you saw 2 films?
I
What's
did.
the other
I also saw Don John, which is
one? Oh yeah, with
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt.
Directed and written by him.
Mm-hmm.
Scarlett Johansson is also in it, and I believe that was the only famous people in it. I can't remember, but
It's right at the top.
thank you. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Oh yeah, Julianne Moore is also in it, and Tony Danza. That's right. I completely forgot about Tony Danza. He's only in it for a few.
Is that his dad?
Yeah, he
right?
plays his dad, which works perfectly.
Okay.
To me, I got annoyed with it a little bit because it was like as if the Jersey Shore shitty, stupid show, which I absolutely loathe, if it was written into an actual movie.
Mm-hmm.
He's
So he's one of those Jersey
he's kind
Shore
of like he's kind of
Guido kind.
a little he's a little bit like that. He's very particular about the way his hair is. He's very particular about his car. He's very particular about his body. He works out a lot. He goes to church a lot. There's a lot of scenes with him doing confession and really just straightforward, inappropriate. I jerked off 37 times this week and watched internet porn so many times and had sex out of wedlock 16 times this week. All this stuff. So those are like, whoa, that's very honest. I don't know if I'd be that honest, but so there's aspects of it that are endearing. Julianne Moore's character, her whole complete character, like you don't see any of what she's about coming at all. I was like, holy shit, whoa, like all of it. Like the more you get like just this little teeny nugget, and then the more you pull on the little string, her whole story kind of unravels in front of you, and you're like, well, you don't really see that happen too often.
So it's pretty clever.
Yeah, I thought he worked in a pretty clever storyline. Scarlett Johansson, on the other hand, I could have done without her completely. Her character was so fucking annoying. She plays.
I'm hearing a thread here, but I don't know. Maybe
She plays this gal and they're from the Boston area, and I don't know what it is about the Boston accent. It just immediately, if it's not done properly, it just immediately gets under my skin, and I can't stop focusing on it. And I know she can't do that, or she doesn't do that accent naturally, so it's affected. And the second that you pick up on she's trying really hard, like, I can't take you serious now because you're not selling whatever you're selling to me.
Right.
And
It's gotta be tough.
It was, yeah, that's a really tough accent to do anyway. So, but her character, like her as a person, is just not. You kind of just end up really not liking her.
Right.
And I don't know if it's by design or if she didn't pull it off correctly. I can't really decide which. But did you guys see this one at all?
Did not see it. Is it worth
I wouldn't
watching?
mind seeing.
It is worth watching.
I just
Definitely
didn't-
worth watching.
So pretty good considering it's his first.
Was it
writ-
satisfying?
first
Absolutely.
directing.
I thought it was really well done. He being a little Guido type or whatever you want to call it, like he's completely believable doing that whole gig.
I kind of love Joseph Gordon-Levitt as an
Yeah.
actor. I think he's brilliant. But this particular character type is, like you say, Jersey Shore is just not appealing to me. So
Yeah.
I didn't rush out to see it.
Yeah, and I
But maybe
just
it's
watching the previews from it, like pretty much what you get out of the previews, besides Julianne Moore's little surprise twist into it. You pretty much know what you're getting into besides that little twist.
Would you suggest like theater, dollar theater,
I
rent it?
would definitely get this out of the Redbox or off of the YouTubes.
Yeah, but you'd watch it off Redbox.
Yeah, definitely.
It would watch instant.
When this was doing its run at the theater, this was I don't know. This was back at like 8 months ago. I think that it was
it's
actually
been a while.
Had I seen it at that time at the theater, I would have said wait till Redbox.
Right.
So
that's what I.
Yeah,
was
I think
wanting to
anybody that likes a good movie that's got just kind of a pretty much just a different outlook. Like you're not gonna really hear this from a lot of movies.
Okay.
Just the whole concept of how pornography is intertwined into the male psyche, basically, and how and why and the reasoning behind it. You're not really going to hear that, and it's pretty honest. Me as a dude, I'm like, yeah, you might be you might be selling that just a little bit much, just for the fact that you're making a movie and you're trying to sell it. But for the most part, his opinions about porn and whatnot and the insight behind how porn is kind of damaging us as individuals or whatever. It's all pretty like right there, and I think it's very accurate.
Whatever you think, but he still makes some valid.
Absolutely, yeah. So.
Opinions. No, that's exciting though. Like as far as he's coming out on his own when it comes to acting. Like he's a solid actor, and now he puts out this movie, his first movie that he directed and wrote and starred in. And
click on Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I'd like to see what he's up to.
He's no Tommy Wiseau though.
That's probably
no,
true.
I'm a big fan of
He's got an untitled Christmas Eve project.
Oh, his next movie's Sin City.
Yeah, that's coming out next month, I think, right?
Soon, very soon. Well, Kim and I saw 2 films.
We did.
Let's start with the less good one, The Stinker.
Oh, okay. So I know exactly which one. And it stinks to say that it's a stinker because you're comparing it to a near perfect film. But that aside, we saw Brick Mansions, which...
I don't know if B-13's perfect, but...
No.
Oh, you mean between these two? No, yeah. Okay.
So, back to the thing. But Brick Mansions...
Paul Walker's last movie.
Oh,
with those... what's his face?
The parkour guy.
Yeah, the
Bell.
parkour guy.
His last name's Bell.
David Bell.
Yeah, David Bell.
Okay.
So, it's nearly... shot-for-shot remake of District B13, which is a French film.
Parkour movie,
Yeah.
which is actually
But they're
worth
not
your time.
saying-
I
they're not
like
saying
District
it. We
B13.
just know it because we saw it.
There's a District D13.
B.
No, B.
B.
I was going to say there's a District D13 on the
No.
Netflix that
No.
I almost watched because I thought, based off of what
Yeah.
you guys
No,
were saying...
if you go to Netflix and type
Yeah.
in District B13, you'll find it.
So there are 2 guys that are the leads in it. And so one guy's David Bell. He was in the original. So it's great to see him do all of his parkour stuff. But the problem is...
And he's a real parkour guy. He's
Paul Walker
awesome.
He's one of
can't-
the first ones,
He can't parkour.
Paul Walker
he
just
can
can't do
fight,
it.
and he fights really well.
District B13.
In the fight sequences, but he's
or
just
13.
not cool.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
like my dad, alright.
There's literally a
Yeah.
scene where in the original...
It's a funny scene, but I don't want to be funny. I want to see cool shit.
No, but in the original,
Yeah.
the
That's
two
the one?
guys... Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
District 13. Which is good. I
It's
highly
good.
recommend it. But in the
Yeah.
original, the guy that plays the cop,
Yeah.
which is Paul Walker's part, he's a parkour guy too. So there's a scene where they're both being
Oh.
chased, and they both just like run up this thing, go through
Yeah.
this little hole in the ceiling, and you're like, wow, not bad. And then
In this one,
Paul Walker can't do it. So when
Yeah.
the one guy jumps through this little hole, Paul Walker's like, oh,
you
I
gotta
guess-
be kidding me, man!
Yeah.
And then the
Oh,
guy
wait,
on the other
no.
side standing, and he's like looking at the hole, waiting for him to come through. And then Paul Walker busts through the ceiling and just falls through the ceiling. He's like, gotta make my own way. You know, and he dusts off all of this.
I think they had an opportunity to almost be clever with it, as far as maybe him even trying it and just biffing it or
Yeah.
something. Not being cool about
Just
it.
eat shit.
Yeah.
Any of the sequences where you're seeing the parkour, like the opening sequence inside the place where it's all kind of blocked off, zoned off, our main guy, David Bell, was just cool.
Yeah, he's really cool.
And we think back on it, we're like, no, the whole thing was just so fabricated. Because when you go back, the story kind of falls apart in places.
Yeah,
So
especially the
he's
remake.
escaping this main building. Well, when he escapes, he has to run through the entire building, get out through the roof, and start running on the rooftops. Well, he's gonna run across the rooftops, and he's essentially escaped the guys. But there's all these other guys jumping out of nowhere and coming up the fire escape and coming from other roofs, and you're like, where did these guys come from? There were like 20 guys in there.
Well, they even show him coming into the
Yeah.
building, and the bad guys,
They're
there's
all
like
in
10
the
of them,
room.
and he's like, okay, guys, let's go get them. And all 10 go into the building.
Yeah.
So then once he gets past those 10 and he's running across
Just
the rooftops,
dudes after
more and
dudes.
more guys keep popping up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, if he had all those guys, he should have brought them into the building,
Yeah.
and that probably would have kept him from ever making it out.
And the
So
other
it
problem
does-
is that
there's
Bell
problem.
is French and he's got a French accent. So of course Paul Walker at some
it's
point
set in
has to
Detroit.
say, yeah, it's set in Detroit, and it's like, hey, Frenchie, you know, to like kind of like
Hey, yeah, he's
make
French
his
guy.
Hey, you
accent
French
okay.
guy who moved to
Yeah.
Detroit. I swear that's the line.
Yeah, you were born and raised in the Detroit slums that
Well,
are now.
because his father obviously met his mother in France, she fell in love, but she moved back to Detroit with him.
Right.
That's more backstory than this movie gives.
Like
And then she sang that Meatloaf song to him. I'll do anything for love, but I won't move to Detroit.
Well, there's a turn.
to it.
There's a few turns in the movie that don't really make sense, and they spend half the movie making RZA, that actor, rapper. They make him into such a villain, and then about halfway through, they decide he's not the villain anymore.
And they kind of
And suddenly
explain
they
away
team
what
up.
happened. And even though he's done some bad things and all of his buddies have done bad things, sorry, but spoilers, like there's a major shift in alliances with the two
Right.
cops and then who they work for versus who they're supposed to go and arrest. And so
But I
you're
was like, yeah, but he did
still,
murder all those
did
guys at
that
the beginning of
stuff.
the movie, right?
Yeah,
Like, just
yeah.
because he's not responsible for one murder, he was responsible for the others that we watched him do.
As long as you just say sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway,
So, I wanted to like it.
just watch the French one on Netflix.
Watch
Which, look, they think
District
you'll give it 5
13.
stars.
They think I'll give the sequel to it 4 3/4.
Sequel's not as good, but the first one's good.
Or
it's
just
good.
watch American Ninja Warrior that's coming on at the end of May on TV.
Yeah,
that's
that's the
what I
best.
want to
That
see.
is an
It's
awesome
just
show.
I'm in the
Awesome.
dark about that.
Okay, so Brick
Awesome
Mansions
feats.
is just a pass. Don't watch
a
it.
pass.
The
Damn,
other movie
I was
we
really
saw,
hoping.
however,
However.
was a Wes Anderson movie called The Grand Budapest Hotel. And I like Wes Anderson, but his last
Sure.
movie, Moonrise Kingdom,
Yeah.
we came out of it somewhat disappointed because we're like, he's just being quirky, like Wes Anderson quirky now for the sake of being quirky.
It felt empty.
It felt
Oh,
empty.
It was called what?
Moonrise Kingdom,
Yeah, Moonrise
which I
Kingdom
can't
felt
recommend.
empty.
It was my least favorite Wes
But,
Anderson.
On the
But
other
this
hand,
movie, go ahead.
yeah, no, I kind of started Brick Mansions. You go with this one.
I think The Grand Budapest Hotel is the best Wes Anderson movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I liked.
I agree.
I've liked a lot of his movies, but
Yeah.
this one I thought was, like Kim said, near perfect. It's just delightful and it's quirky and
And
weird,
it's
but it all makes sense
Funny
why
and
it is.
charming and
And Fiennes is the best. He's so good. And Willem
Adrian
Dafoe.
Brody and
I've decided
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe might just
Yeah.
be
the best.
the best actor,
He
like
is
period.
amazing.
Yeah.
He's
What-
so good.
What's the plot?
Okay, so Ray Fiennes works in this hotel. What is his role?
He's the
What is he
Concierge.
the concierge.
Okay, he's the concierge, and one of the many women that he attends to, he's very popular in the Grand Budapest Hotel. She leaves. A couple days later, he finds out that she's dead, so he goes to visit her. And they realize...
pay his respects.
To pay his respects, because he truly did have feelings. He had this affair with her for 20 years. And she was much, much, much older, like 80 years.
She's like 80 and he's like
He's like
50.
40, 50, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so he goes to pay his respects, and then they find out they don't find out. She's loaded, and that
She's
she
been
was
murdered.
murdered.
Right.
And so they're trying to figure out who gets all the stuff. And then you meet Adrian Brody, who's one of her
her children.
his children?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's one of her sons.
and he's just fantastic.
Or
He's
her
got
only
this
son.
hair that stands straight up, and there's this moment where he's actually chasing Ray Fiennes throughout the hotel, and he just looks like a maniac. And it's so good. It's so good. So then he just is on the run. He ends up going to prison
He
at
gets
one point.
framed for the murder,
Yeah.
and then he
And then he
escapes and
escapes
he's
from
on the
prison,
run.
and he's running around with this bellhop in training, who's the second main guy. And those two, Ray Fiennes and the bellhop, are the two that essentially carry the entire show.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of like their journey, and they meet a whole lot of people. We get to see Willem Dafoe as a contract killer.
He doesn't have any lines. Did you notice that? He had no lines in the movie.
Jeff Goldblum
he just stands.
was brilliant.
Jeff
He was the
Goldblum's
lawyer for the dead woman.
It's nice.
Oh, I thought everyone was
Passed away.
brilliant. I love Bill Murray and Ed
Murray.
Norton, Jude Law, and
Yeah.
I loved F.
No
Murray
kidding.
Abraham, and
Wow.
Adrian Brody's great.
Well, it's nice to see
Yeah.
that it has.
Jason Schwartzman had like
Jason
5
Schwartzman.
lines, and
Yeah.
he was hilarious.
All these huge stars,
Hilarious.
literally, were, like Bill Murray's in it for 2 short scenes.
Tilda Swinton was
Doesn't
in it
matter.
for 2 lines, and that's it. And then she died. But
Yeah.
they were so good. Everyone was just, ugh.
It's that that's quite the feat as far as having that large of a cast.
Yeah.
And still
But
being
then-
able to use them even in small increments, and
Yeah.
they're still.
And part of the reason that they're
And feel like their characters were fleshed out and real and meaningful. That's so hard to do.
so this movie is actually, it starts with a young girl opening a book called The Grand Budapest Hotel, and she starts reading the book, and we realize the whole movie's basically the book.
Yeah.
Right.
And
so
it has
all the weird
chapters.
quirky things that
Yeah.
happen. There's chapters throughout, but the weird quirky things that happen. It's because it's a book,
Yeah.
and books have kind of a different feel to them sometimes, and you feel like you've read a novel when you get to the end of it, and it's really.
Oh.
I came out of it just so happy and
Yeah.
delighted.
And we didn't
But
even
Ray
talk
Fiennes.
about
He's the best.
the visuals. It was
The
just
visuals are
gorgeous too. The way it was
outrageously
framed.
Is this on Redbox?
It's in the theater still, isn't it?
Is
We,
in
it
theaters?
came to our theater here in
We were
Lewiston.
shocked.
I don't know if it's still here. It's
I
not,
know, I
right?
thought that was-
Probably
It was here for like a week.
Oh, you did see it in the theater, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Never mind. For some reason I thought it
We were
come and
originally
gone.
going to Brick Mansions, and we saw that they had it here for a
I
week.
looked it up on
And
the
so
phone.
we're
I was
like,
like,
yeah,
so
we're like,
excited.
we're going to Grand Budapest first, and we saw Brick Mansions the next day.
So Amy's dad went and saw it, and he said he enjoyed it, but he felt like it was about 20 minutes too long. Did you guys get that out of it too?
I just loved it.
No.
I didn't give a shit. I thought it was great.
Oh man. That's
Look, I
sad.
mean,
I have to
I
wait
was-
now.
Click on the
No,
picture
the
of
thing too,
Jude Law. And
we said that we
Jason
enjoyed
Schwartzman.
it, but from the opening scene, we were laughing our asses off. It was hilarious. Do you remember?
No, but it's
It's
funny.
the
You're
old
right.
man at the desk and the little boy was in the scene.
Don't you shoot me.
It's ridiculous.
Oh,
It's
sounds
just
like it sounds like
fun.
one worth buying, to be honest. Of course, I might
Actually,
will.
it is.
Yeah.
We're gonna buy it, and I'm
For
gonna
film
start
class,
using it in film
yeah.
class.
It's-
It's gonna
it's
be like
easily
my
gonna
end of
be-
the semester movie because
It
I think it
incorporates
does
everything.
such beautiful stuff. It's,
Yeah.
it's very much a movie that needs to be discussed.
And I like how they're doing this. Do you remember we saw
She has a birthmark on her cheek. The
She
girl
does.
in the exact shape of Mexico.
no, but do you see on the things that it says characters and it has a picture of the person with their name? Yeah, that reminds me of
You see
the new Von
Brody is
Trier,
the fourth
where
over.
it's all the characters and they're doing their
Oh my God.
orgasm
Oh, yeah, that's
faces,
right.
Right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that trend. I think it's great.
Man, yeah, he looks insane.
I mean, look at all those.
Look at Adrian
characters.
Brody, isn't he fantastic?
I haven't seen Brody in a
Willem
while.
Dafoe, and when Willem Dafoe kind of
Oh,
opens his mouth, he's got like
gosh.
werewolf teeth.
Willem
He
Dafoe
does.
looks a little deranged.
He's so
and-
scary.
yeah.
Yeah,
It
he's
looks from
It's great.
What year does this supposed to take place?
20s before
Yeah,
World
it goes.
War One,
We
right?
start out at a
After,
certain time, and then
around there?
the narrator starts telling the story, and then we go back in time. So
Yeah.
it's probably in the 20s.
Okay,
or 30s.
I was just looking at their get up and the style.
Oh yeah.
that's-
Look. Okay. Click on. Go down again. That's Tilda Swinton when she's dead. The Willem Dafoe on the motorcycle. Yeah.
Yes. That's
Whoa.
a great
Can you
scene.
see his teeth? Can
Yeah.
you see his teeth, kind of?
Yeah.
Hold
That
on.
is a good scene.
It's just
Oh,
fantastic.
it's so fun. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it.
And I would say see it in the theaters, but it's not in the theaters. So
Damn it.
see it as soon as you can. And like you said, I'm gonna buy it. I don't buy too many movies at this point.
especially comedies.
Well, there's so many movies available just on Netflix and stuff to pay money to have it. Like, when do you really? But I watch movies with my class in school, and this is one that I can bring in and show as an example of a very creative, artistic vision, on the screen.
For me though, like a good.
All the scenes in the prison were a riot. They just did, yeah.
I was wondering how he escaped, and I'm like, oh, this is oldie prison.
Well, it is oldie prison, but they actually pack little baby tiny tools and pickaxes
Little
inside
teeny
the
ones.
pastries, and then when they send them through, and they usually are just like trying to make sure that there's nothing in there, the pastry's so beautiful that they can't actually poke in and figure it out, so they just
They don't
pass
wanna
it on.
destroy it.
They don't want to mess. So then, of course, they get all their tools.
You
It's
see all
great.
these
And then
crooks
there's
at
these
night
guys-
with their
I mean, that's of course the humor.
Yeah.
That,
Well, to me, a good movie is like a a good book. I mean, as far as I still want to have it on my shelf.
I agree.
And,
I agree.
You might want to show someone eventually, and in your case, your class.
yeah.
No, but this is one I'll buy when it comes out on DVD.
I usually base things off of how much I enjoyed it. Would I pay money to own this on my shelf, and that's kind of For the most part, that's how I have the collection of DVDs that I have. Some of them are just like, that one sucks so bad I kind of have to have it, type of a thing.
This is a weird criticism to have, but if we look at the cast of characters again, there's only 2 women that actually get speaking roles, and there's about 20 men. And so I feel like I know that women can be exciting, entertaining, dramatic, real. I mean, Tilda Swinton's in there. She's a for real lady actor, female actress. It's just so male heavy, and I wish that Anderson could actually utilize women actors the way that he does male actors.
Maybe he just knows his weaknesses, and he's just like,
I don't know.
I work with women very well.
And it's hard to say
possible.
that's keeping me from loving it so much, but I just know that I don't know, it can happen. I'm not mad at him, but
Super cool. Well, anyway, that's what we saw. Let's do some news. What do
Okay.
we got?
Ooh, what's going on?
We got some Batman news.
Oh, the Batman Superman movie. Now, there's actually quite a bit of news around this. You've pulled up here that Ray Fisher, who I don't really know who that is.
I don't really know who it is
will
either.
be playing
Neither do
Cyborg.
That's good, right? You always say you want no
Sure.
names.
And he looks like he could do
Yeah,
it.
exactly. I saw him.
Sure.
I'm like, yeah,
Very similar, yes.
yeah.
So far we know that Superman, the new Superman movie, will have Batman. People are calling it Batman versus Superman, but it's not the official name. Wonder Woman will make an appearance, Cyborg apparently, and I'm guessing the rest of the Justice League, because they have announced that Zack Snyder, who's directing the new Superman and who did Man of Steel, will immediately begin filming on Justice League, like right after filming this, and that Justice League will come out 2 years afterwards. So this movie will lead right into Justice League. Now, yeah, apparently we all have opinions. I'll give mine real quick. I find it interesting that Marvel, they've done 9 movies, 3 Iron Mans, an Avengers, couple Caps, couple Thors, some Incredible Hulk. But they've got 9 official movies in their studio, under their studio belt. They've repeated directors, I think once with Jon Favreau, but they don't repeat directors. They keep bringing in new talent. Some do a better job than others, but they always pull it off more or less. Whereas Zack Snyder, I don't know if...
Is it Snyder?
Snyder. I mean, think about Snyder. He does an okay job. Man of Steel, fine.
Is that Superman going to be the same Superman here?
Same Superman actor.
Okay.
James Cavill.
Yeah,
right?
Henry
Cavill.
Ben Affleck will be
Batman.
an old grizzled Batman. Poor Ben Affleck.
Batfleck. Oh man.
And
The
actually,
avalanche
the
of
last
shit
thing
that
I
he's
heard,
taken.
is that Ben Affleck is currently doing rewrites on the script.
Oh.
So maybe he'll do something with it. But
So he's going to appear as Batman in the Batman Superman movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
And there have been 2 people already who are like, the Batman suit is just out of this world. They haven't done this before.
Well, sure. I'm sure it's fantastic.
So
Whatever.
you're talking about the director. I'm sorry. I
So my
interrupted.
problem is, okay, so you get Christopher Nolan on The Dark Knight. And, well, he did Batman Begins, then The Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises. And by the third one, you can tell for me, I think, you can tell he's tired.
He's done
And
with
he
it.
ultimately just says, I'm done, and he walks off. I feel like putting Zack Snyder each time, first of all, that gives a very specific, like, flavor to all their movies. And I feel like he's just... They keep that same talent coming. They're never going to get anything fresh. And it's not that I mind Zack Snyder. I just feel like, try something else.
Try step out of the box.
Now, the reason that they don't do it is when they do try someone else, they get some new guy and he makes the Green Lantern. And the Green Lantern's a piece of shit. And they're like, we can't have another Green Lantern. So, we'll use the guy that works. Oh, Chris Nolan won't do it? Zack Snyder. Okay, Zack Snyder's movie made money. You're the master of DC from now on. Everything is yours.
Oh man,
Huge mistake.
Yeah, you imagine the pressure that's on him
Do you think,
to deliver.
I don't know. Do we think it's all directing, or do we kind of go to writing as
Yeah,
well?
writing's a little.
Oh, I think it's
Because
both.
that's a big part
But my
of
point is,
something being successful.
I
but
think
Snyder, who has the final word, he doesn't mind making Sucker Punch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's...
And I think the writing, I had a huge problem with the action in the first Superman, or Man of Steel. Like, the action was cool. It was there. But it was the writing and the storytelling that I actually didn't care for, or at least how they told Superman's story and how they wrote Superman.
Well, okay, it's like with Transformers. Every time it's Michael Bay. I really think someone other than Michael Bay could make a decent Transformers movie.
Not enough explosions.
In fact, exactly. And I think Hollywood sometimes gets caught in this loop where they think, okay, we have to
just replicate it.
Well, let's look at most trilogies. Batman does this. The original Spider-Man trilogy does it. They all start out with a origin story, and then they have a big crisis where some big thing happens in the second movie, and then the third movie is a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happens pretty much every time, or it's not as good. Let's say that.
Yeah.
So Spider-Man 1, origin story. Spider-Man 2, crisis. Spider-Man 3, terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, origin story. Batman Dark Knight,
Crisis.
The third one starts to fall apart. And so I feel like that's what we're going to see. Origin story with Man of Steel. We're going to have the big crisis. Oh, what's going to happen? Lex Luthor. And then we're going to have Justice League, and everything's going to be a train wreck. And then we're going to go home and be like, fuck.
God damn it.
I wanted Justice League to be awesome, and it's a train wreck.
Yeah, but think about this. I mean, and this is more, negativity. They're adding 4 or 5 superheroes to this movie that haven't been fleshed out, that haven't had origin stories, that a lot of people who don't know much about DC are going to be like, who is
Exactly.
this?
No, I'm with you on this.
And
that's why fucking Avengers was so good, because we didn't spend 30 minutes on Captain America and 30 more minutes on Thor and 30 more minutes, who's this guy? Thor? Is he some kind of god? And we go to Asgard and rush through his story. No, we did all that in their own movies, and then we come together and we're like, oh.
And like, even with a character like Cyborg, I realize that, he's been around. He's a good. I think he's a good DC character. But with the technology they have today, you could have a cool Iron Man-esque Cyborg movie. And,
You really could.
But now he's just gonna be.
an ancillary
probably
side
a
character.
really shallow,
Yeah.
like, I'm a jock with robot arms.
He'll have 4 or 5
Like-
lines. We won't really know who he is as a guy. He'll punch some people out and we'll be like, cool. And then
Who are you? I'm Cyborg.
yeah, but okay, I think, frankly, they're going to not hold the Justice League characters back till the end of the movie. We'll see Batman throughout, and then we'll get to the end, and we'll have like a 10-minute sequence where they, oh, look, there's an Amazonian, and there's a cyborg, and there's
I just
there's
can't
a
believe
King of Atlantis.
I can't believe this is the holy trinity of DC. They did not give Wonder Woman her own movie before Justice League. That is like a travesty.
Yeah,
Oh, I
that is
agree.
pretty surprising.
It's just,
Frankly, they should give Batman his own reboot.
if they want to use an Affleck, I think.
Yeah, they should let Affleck have a Batman, Superman have his Superman 2, and Wonder Woman have her movie, and then do a Justice League.
And Marvel even was smarter with bringing the universe together. They're all connected. It doesn't feel disjointed. Like, wait, didn't in this universe or in this movie this happen? It's like they apply everything. And whereas, the Batman movies we watched, it's not going to apply to this.
Nope.
All we know about
it's
is Superman.
completely reset. And for you and me, we're used to new Batmans, and we'll just deal with it. But I was like, my sister goes to movies. She's a person, and I was talking to her about Batman, and she's like, I couldn't believe that he can't fly. And I'm like, holy cow, there are people in this world who don't know the Batman story, right? And DC has to deal with that. So they're going to spend 50% of Justice League trying to explain who all these stupid heroes are. They're not going to give any of them enough time. And then they're going to have the big battle with Darkseid or whoever they have their battle with. And then we're going to be like, that movie felt rushed.
Well, that movie is over.
Yeah,
Thank God.
It's going to feel rushed, and we're going to walk out going,
Now, here's something that I also didn't realize, but there's also other people. I was listening to the Adam Carolla show, as I am apt to do. But there are other people in the world that don't realize, they went and saw the Iron Man movies, and they saw the Thors and the Captain Americas and all that, and then they saw the Avengers and whatnot, and they're like, I just don't understand, how are we supposed to, are there no rules to movies anymore? Because Like, there's this god, and then you got Iron Man, who's just a billionaire philanthropist, and then you got this dude that's a super soldier. And how are we supposed to believe that like all these people exist in one world? I'm like, did you not realize that this is like they created the entire Marvel universe that exists in the comic books now exists in these movies, and you can see from movie to movie how this one universe is kind of encapsulated in different movies.
But to them, it's like a different mythos for each movie. They didn't even realize it was the same world.
Right.
And so they're like,
so
why
there's
are you
people
throwing in with Norse god.
Right. So there's people in the
robot?
world that also exist that don't realize that those movies aren't autonomous to each other. They're actually they all kind of intertwine.
Well,
they have no idea that they all intertwine with each other.
To be fair, Avengers made enough money to where I don't think it matters.
Yeah. No, I don't think it does. I don't think that matters. I'm just saying that there's also people that exist that don't realize that that's one big world.
They're smart about it though. In Cap 2, they have these lines about dangerous people in New York, and they're like, Stephen Strange, and the 5 or 6 nerds in the audience are like, Doctor Strange, and we know they're going to make that movie. People who don't catch that, when Doctor Strange comes out, they'll watch it, and then they'll go back and watch Captain America 2 and go, hey, they mentioned it. And we'll go, they really were planning all this.
Well, I think we should move on to news. I feel bad for Kim because she's not exactly
I know. Kim, you don't care about this crap, do you?
It's not that I don't care.
I was even rooting for the female superhero.
I'm rooting.
We should, but
they
no.
They should do it.
I just don't know enough to intellectually
real.
speak about any of these worlds or
Did you
things.
know?
And it's fine. I just base my judgments on film quality and techniques and all the stuff that I know about movies. It doesn't necessarily apply to only comic books. So, I just don't know the history, and I don't sometimes get the references, but that's okay.
Did you know that
okay
they were going to make a Wonder Woman movie, and Joss Whedon wrote a screenplay, and he was set to direct, and then they pulled out at the end and said, we're not going to do it. And so he went over to Marvel and made Avengers and made all of the money for them.
Wow.
I bet DC is just like...
They should be. Somebody should have lost their job over that choice. I mean, they really should have. So, wait, you fired who?
And you did this why?
And
this exists now.
Just break records all over the world.
And if there's a writer-director in Hollywood that cares about the female character, it's Joss Whedon. I mean, every one of his shows will make sure there's at least a strong female with a personality.
Oh, and not to mention for the most part, respect the story behind a character as far as superhero mythos.
His idea. I mean, there's pretty women in his movies, but that's never the focus. The focus is this is a human being that has desires and is trying to do something. Even Black Widow, I feel like any other superhero movie would have made her just about her shape, and he did his best. I think Cap 2 probably did it better with her, making her stronger.
Yeah, that was the best version of
I didn't like her
I'd
hair.
Okay.
Avengers, man, those curly locks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I see where you're going. Okay, so we got one trailer.
We have a trailer to watch.
Okay, we're gonna watch a trailer and then we'll be done with homework.
Yes.
What's this for?
This is for a movie that Thomas sent us on the Facebook's chat. We kind of keep in touch throughout the week, and this is called "They Came Together." Thomas,
it gave me a chuckle. I go to a news site. I saw it and I was like, let's see what they think.
Oh,
it's
Paul
a comedy.
Rudd, Amy Poehler.
David Wayne directed.
Nice.
Oh,
right.
good.
Yeah.
He did What Hot American Summer.
Ooh, hopefully it's good.
Okay, we'll see.
So, Joel and Molly, how'd you two meet?
Kind of a corny romantic comedy kind of story.
That's true.
From the creators of Wet Hot American Summer comes a film that dares to reveal the true meaning of love. If you love stories.
You like fiction books? I never met anyone else who likes fiction. That is too funny.
And if you love falling in love, then you will love this love story.
Hey, you look different.
Really? You think so?
You've got Groucho glasses on.
You noticed. Well, great story.
Yeah, we should get together again very soon.
We're not done.
Yeah, sit down. Well, actually, it's getting so late. Sit down, Karen.
From the director of Role Models
If I were you, I would be very wary of my motives.
Yummy, yummy in my tummy. It's hot, 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 hot.
The point of love is to get laid. And I'm talking about sexual intercourse. 2 points. Switch.
Do not listen to Mr. Chronically Single, always dating some new hot chick guy.
comes a romantic comedy.
All hail Joel. Trevor, didn't you hear? You're fired. Now get out of here before I change my mind.
No, I want you to change your mind. Then I'll still have a job.
Like you've already seen before.
They came together.
No,
we didn't.
Only better.
Go jump in a lake, meathead.
You get it now? Mr. Combines traits that each of us represents, and all you need to do is put it all together and you'll be just fine, guy.
And weirder.
Go deep! Go deep! Go deep!
I love Jason Mantzoukas.
What? That's for you.
You know, you're pretty adorable when you get all fussy like that.
Your story really is like a corny movie.
I know. The only difference is it's not a movie. It's our real life.
Yep, Showalter and Wayne. This is the same exact creative team that did Wet Hot American Summer, and I think it shows. What did you think?
Yeah.
That looks,
Well,
it's even the same cast.
Yeah, it's like a comedian's dream. Every single person there I knew. I don't know if you get, like, everyone, even like the people that were like not in the focus.
Right, the guys in the back.
I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Oh my god, I love Jason Mantzoukas. I'm so excited for him.
Well, we'll have to go see that one.
Wasn't last week we were talking about like we haven't seen a good spoof movie in a while?
That's it. This is it. This is
that. Hopefully that's the one.
Well, Polar
You should
and
watch a
Rudd
spoof
can
movie
really
next
pull
week.
that off. Did you see the very end when she turned around? She's like, kind of like a wink, you know. But this is real life.
You're right, Lewis. I'm gonna look for a spoof movie.
Yeah,
Sorry
try
to
that.
interrupt. Kim.
No, I just think it has the potential to do what we want in people
Oh,
making
yeah.
fun of genres and stuff because they're actually talented. The writers are talented, but the actors can really...
Like those scenes we've seen in so many romantic comedies where they finally get together to have sex and they start knocking things over, and she's just like picking shit up and throwing for no reason, just because that's what you do. in those
And
movies.
Paul Rudd, he just sit there and you start kind of giggling, like, what's he gonna do?
His face is when he was like
he's
showering.
adorable.
He's like, oops.
Just like,
He's great.
I
Okay.
hope he writes and directs something someday.
Thank you for pointing that out to us.
Yes,
I'm
thank you.
excited.
I'm excited for that too.
Looks good.
Okay, so we ready for homework? We ready to discuss homework?
Sure.
Yes.
Nathan, you assigned a movie called
Oh, I did.
How to Be a Man.
How to Be a Man. I heard the main dude, Gavin McGinnis, give an interview, and he was promoting it. By his description, I thought it sounded good, and I knew I would never get around to it if I didn't do it for homework. So I signed it for homework and watched it with the wife and felt incredibly uncomfortable through 3 specific scenes. What'd you guys think of it?
Yeah?
Yes.
I didn't like it. There's moments of creative dialogue that, you know, I started getting a little tickled, but then they kind of went the extra step and it kind of turned into junior high potty humor, and I just and that's not for me. Like, I don't, you know, all the fart jokes, I don't think fart jokes are funny at all. So
that is a major plot point.
It
though.
is.
Yeah,
so
that
I was
fart
like,
jokes are funny. So if you disagree, that could be a tough.
The main actor, I'm sorry,
Gavin McGinnis.
He wasn't a bad actor. I just didn't like anything about his character.
I didn't think I agree. I thought he acted that character well, kind of like Scarlett Johansson and our Kirsten Dunst for specific reasons. I liked their portrayal of that person, but I didn't like the person they were portraying. So I had a hard time. Like, I had a hard time getting into this guy.
I loved his wife.
His wife
it was hilarious. I didn't like his.
She reminds me of the chick from Portlandia.
I didn't like his the filmer or the kid.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of him.
Oh,
As an
no.
actor, I thought he was okay.
Well, I want to jump in on the character because you say that it's good actor job, but not necessarily the best or likable or interesting character.
Mm-hmm.
I think there was a problem with the character. He was someone that actually was funny and likable in the beginning, and then
He
almost
took a turn,
immediately
yeah.
he just became this heroin sex riddled junkie, and he was sleeping on the street and homeless, and I'm like
2 days later.
I don't believe it. I don't believe this. And if he'd been the person in the beginning in which he and his wife are having conversations together about how she can just get jizzed in and it doesn't matter because she's already got a baby,
right?
And I thought that was hilarious.
That was good banter.
Funny.
That was really good.
It was great.
Yeah.
But then to more realistically film himself getting a blowjob
that
on
was
heroin in a
one
bathroom.
specific scene
like,
that was uncomfortable to watch with the wife.
That's just too. It's separate. It's not even. It doesn't feel like it's in the same movie.
The transformation was very.
That was the hardest part for me. Was the transformation because I just didn't believe it.
The justification for the transformation was he started doing some pretty hard drugs.
He did some coke, but
right off the bat, I mean,
he wanted it
from a father who cares about his future child, husband, and
he acts like he really loves her, and they have a really great relationship. Like really great.
Yeah.
To just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the 5-minute dialogue about how to orally pleasure a woman was extremely uncomfortable to watch with the wife.
Yeah? I thought it was okay.
I liked it except for the part I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. You're ruining all my moves. You're ruining it all. You're giving it away. You're pulling Oz's curtain back. Knock it up. But that was an uncomfortable situation, and then watching the wife find the video was a really uncomfortable moment as well. Like I was like, can we please get past this part? I don't like this plot at all.
Well,
it was very uncomfortable. There's some uncomfortable things that happen in the movie.
I guess I liked it better than everyone else. I was really surprised. I think maybe that's what it was.
No, I was too.
Because I went into this movie going, God damn it, this is gonna be a piece of shit. Fuck Nathan and all of his movie picks.
How to be a man.
Within 3 minutes, I was
not
like,
even
the
3
banter
minutes.
here is really good.
It was
the opening
dong.
shot with the
was
dong.
The dong was great.
In the opening credits,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, this is not the movie I thought it was
Yeah,
gonna
and
be.
I was really pleased with that. But you're right. That once the heroin starts in and stuff, it kind of goes in a weird direction.
And I think I might have misunderstood or misled you to believe that I didn't like it. I actually really liked it. I was just there's a couple of moments that I have picked out or hand selected or whatever that I was just like, let's just get through this. But I actually overall I thought it was a different and unique storyline, to a certain extent.
Did you guys find it as predictable as I did? We all knew what was going to happen.
I unfortunately did see. Well, I mean, you see that coming. Yeah,
it wasn't a surprise.
The formula is nothing really.
But I'll say this: we have a character who does cocaine, messes up, and goes and gets a blowjob from some random girl. And when you do that in a movie, your character has kind of crossed the line that you're not allowed to just say "I'm sorry" and be fine again. And I have to hand it to the movie that they didn't let him off the hook.
Yeah.
Even at the end, he still isn't
getting the shit beat out of him with the
stroller.
But even after he's,
when they're the text
in slow mo.
Yeah, the text at the end, we're like, nope, he's still not okay with her. And I'm like, good, let's show some real consequences to a move like that.
But then there were some other things too. I kind of they wanted both. They wanted both things to happen because he was
the end credits.
They were in the party together. He leaned over and kissed her forehead, and then there was she befriended the girl that did that to him, and it made
really
him uncomfortable but horny,
and also horny.
And then it's like, I don't know. I mean,
but the idea is,
did he do something wrong? I don't think he did. I don't think it was
that bad.
The
idea is he wrote those credits. His character wrote those
I know,
words.
But
so he's like, I didn't do it.
I don't think it was that bad. I mean, these are my consequences, but I don't think it was that bad.
Right, which I think he would realistically write that.
And to be honest, I don't think any of us would disagree what happened to him after he tried coming back, as far as her kicking
beating
his
the
ass.
shit out of him.
So I don't know. There was a great line early on with the banter where the wife is like, I could have sex, maybe the babies would get cum in its mouth. And I was like, but see, that's part of the thing is their relationship was so cool where they could talk like that.
Cool.
And so for him to ruin that, and
it's just weird.
Yeah, it's maybe not a great choice.
Strange. And then we find out, and he seems like a really smart, savvy guy. Spoilers, but we find out that he's not dying because he went to
WebMD.
WebMD, which everyone knows. WebMD gives you cancer, and that's a joke. But if you want to make a movie and you want it to make sense, you can't make that your biggest joke / reveal.
The doctor, are you kidding me?
He's like,
taps him twice. You don't have cancer.
A simple, I went to the doctor, they say it's cancer, and then it was a mistake kind of thing. I would have accepted that even over.
No, but they wanted the WebMD cancer joke.
It wasn't worth it.
I did not like it though, which it sounds like I have a lot of criticisms. I do. I just feel like as a film overall, it doesn't hold together. But there were a lot of times I laughed. A lot of jokes.
I got a lot of good belly laughs out of it.
I was surprised and having a pretty good time. Yeah.
Cool. Well, that was actually a good pick.
Yeah, I thought I was concerned. I got to the end of it. I was like, oh, they're all gonna hate this.
Thomas gives it a thumb down.
Thumbs down.
What's that mean? How many stars?
2.
I give it 3. You gave it 4.
I wanted,
but I might adjust it to 3 now that we've talked about it.
I wanted to like him. I liked him in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
He after he crossed the line, I couldn't like him and I couldn't enjoy it.
It was a 4 for me until I was like, Jesus, that was
valid.
So like maybe bumped it down to like a 3.5.
But for a movie I would not have picked on my own. I think it was cool that I got to see something that I otherwise would never.
It wasn't another Guns, Girls, and
no, by no means. No,
no,
it was not. So good job, Nathan.
Thank you. Yeah. So and that's the thing is there's so many things that I find. Going through the Netflix queue, just going, oh, do I have 2 hours to waste on this? So hopefully there's one thing that you can either pick or not pick based off of what we've just told you. So and that's kind of what the homework's all about. So
Kimberly, you're our next homework picker.
Yeah. So it's a new film, but it was just put on Watch Now for Netflix, and it's the second installment of Outrage from Takashi Kitano, aka Beat Takashi, if he's the actor. And it's called Beyond Outrage.
And we watched the other one.
We watched the other one about 6 months ago.
Didn't I suggest that one too?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I think I did.
Did you do it? Okay.
Yeah.
We're huge fans of Beat Takashi. So,
although Outrage was kind of disappointing.
It was a
little disjointed.
But I'm hoping. Crossing my fingers.
Well, honestly, like now that it's available, we talked about the first one. We kind of have to follow it up. Don't you think?
I'd like to.
So.
Yeah.
So,
plus, he's always just so cool to look at. Sometimes it's not even about the movie.
Face.
His face is so weird.
Yeah, it is.
Right?
Okay,
even his hair compared to everyone else. He's got like a Spock haircut.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So your homework for next week is Beyond Outrage, and we thank you all for tuning in and listening to us jabber on about movies. And if you want to contact us, please check us out on YouTube at whatever. Time Spent Poorly.
You can find us at YouTube at Time Spent Poorly. You can find us on the Facebook, and you can find us
Twitter.
I'm on Twitter
at Nathan L. Betts. He tweets at least once a year.
At least once a year.
You can find
Tommy just got his very first smartphone. Ooh. Yeah, we're moving up on the
way. You
can give Tom a call on his smartphone.
Yeah, his number is 208-305.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can find all of this right there at timespentpoorly.com. Me and Adam have been trying to figure out ways to send you right to Time Spent Poorly and find everything while we do it. Like, you can find everything after we've done it, but we're trying to figure out ways to embed these streams so you can just go to on Wednesday nights, go to Time Spent Poorly around 7:30 or 8ish and log on to Time Spent Poorly and just watch us while we do this right now. We're not there yet, but we're working on it. So.
Just subscribe on YouTube and then click on it every once in a while and check out the videos. We're there.
Thumbs up on Facebook too, please.
Yeah, why not? And otherwise, we'll talk to you next week. Until then, have a wonderful night at the movies.
Okay.